Previewing, yes. Yo people, what is going down? It's Ash Noble here. This is the first time that I'm doing a live on this new device. Um, I've got it's I think it's been a while, over a week, well over a week, um, since I last went live. I think was it maybe might have even been not last Sunday, the Sunday before. I'm sure I came live and gave you like the my DNA booking went, but I just can't remember exactly when it was. But I've got a couple of updates for you. Obviously, I've not been live for a while, so it's like a coming live and sort of updating everything kind of situation. Within sort of what I've got coming up and what's been going on. So first we'll address the elephant in the room. I'm on a new device. Why am I on a new device? To cut the story short, when I went to the DNA booking on the Friday, so not the Friday just gone, but the Friday before, it was obviously for Halloween, and we was going in fancy dress. As you know, I got dressed up as Noreen. So my costume didn't actually have any pockets. So I was gonna sort of keep my phone in my little man bag, which is where like my headphones and microphone and USB stick and things would go. I was also keeping like my wallet and stuff in there. But obviously, because we're obviously traveling and driving, I'd obviously look at my phone. I'd want to take like some videos and say, look, we're on the way to the booking, kind of thing. So obviously, I had my phone out and I had a few things in my hand. I had a drink because I had a big bottle of lemonade that I was taking for the journey, and I just basically just dropped my phone at the door and the screen cracked. It still worked fine. You could use everything. You could use every feature of the phone. So it was all good. So I wasn't really too fussed. I was a bit gutted, like I wish I hadn't dropped it, but I've dropped that many phones. It just became not to annoy me. So I want to feature you on a track. You can message me on Instagram, message me through Facebook, Facebook through DJ Ash Noble. But if you want to sort of like directly get, it's just Ashley Noble on Facebook. I don't really. I've been lacking for months. I haven't, because my MC Noble Facebook page, I really sort of lacked on it, and I've barely been going on it, and I've barely been posting on it. Only till recently when I changed the name to DJ Ash Noble, and I don't really go on the page too much, and I don't really check things on it. So if you want to more or less get like a direct response, it's either my MC Noble Instagram or my Ash Noble on Facebook. If you go on my Instagram, it's I think it's MC DJ Noble. I changed the name, so you can catch me on there, and you can shoot me a message, which you can get to me through that way. But like I say, as far as my Facebook page goes, I need to get a little bit more like responsive with that, and I need to like sort the page out a little bit. I've just changed the name, the cover pictures, the description, but I need to like go on there and check like the messages and things more, because I've been lacking in doing that. So anyway, so the phone worked fine. And then on Monday, I had like a really good day. It was like a production day. So you obviously know I'm signed to Layman Productions, and we do like our own production tracks. So there's a competition for a Squad that can get featured on an album, that's been done in memory of Squad E, who sadly passed away. So myself and Lee thought, well, we're up and coming producers. We're not actually doing too bad. So let's give this one a go. We gave the Darren Styles one a go. let's give this one a go. So we had a really productive day. We got the tune sort of like started, you know, we was to the point where we was, you know, starting to like how it's turning out. So we had a big sort of productive day. And then my friend dropped me off. I come back in, and I'm sat upstairs watching something on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, my cat comes and claws my leg, and you know, like I was engrossed in watching something, so I didn't really expect it to happen. It sort of come as a shock. So when it clawed me, it obviously like hurt a little bit, but it was more like it made me jump because I didn't expect it. So I dropped my phone and it hit the floor on the carpet. So at first I was like, "No, cat, don't claw me." And then I was just sort of stroking and fussing it, so I never picked my phone back up. And then I picked my phone back up to realise that the whole screen had gone inside. You know, you couldn't touch anything, you couldn't do anything. It was absolutely crazy. And from that point on, there was like literally no way for me to like get hold of anybody. Like I couldn't ring no one, I couldn't text no one, so no one literally knew what situation I was in. So obviously it was quite late at night by this point. So after I'd sort of like processed the fact that it had broke, I sort of thought, you know, well, what can I, you know, what am I going to actually be able to do? So I decided to go to sleep and rest on it, because I thought, you know, there's no point thinking now it's late at night, there's not much I can really do at this time. You know, I'll start on a fresh day. So I slept obviously to the next day, and it come to the next day. I was thinking, what can I do? I can hear my phone like vibrating and going off as like people are trying to contact me. I'm getting notifications, but obviously the screen's gone, so I can't. So the only thing that seemed logical in my brain was to jump on a bus to my friend Gemma's house. So I decided, you know, if I get there, she's at least got a phone and she can at least put something out on Facebook and just, you know, let people know who are trying to contact me. You know, I've got no way of contacting anybody, and stuff like that. So here's me, you know, not even sure if Gemma's going to be in, you know, but I'm thinking it's going to be worth the risk. So I thought, well, what I can do is I can jump on the bus, I can get off at a shopping centre near our house, and there's a guy in there who repairs phones. So I thought, if it's not going to be too much of an issue to repair the phone, then I'll see about getting it repaired. So I go over to the centre. I ask him. He looks at the phone. It's quite an oldish phone. I got it second hand as it was, and he just sort of said, "Look, it's, you know, it's not really worth replacing it." You know, he didn't even have a screen in at the time, so he would have had to order one in, and they're just really not that worth repairing because they're quite old. And you know, like I say, it could cost like an arm and a leg. You know, when you could more or less like just buy the phone new again. You know, the same make for the price that it would actually cost to get it repaired. So I thought, well, that's a bit of a blow. So I carried on, obviously, to Gemma's, and I rock up at her door, like, out of breath, because I've just walked from the centre. Because normally I just stay on the bus, and there's a stop right near our house. So I'm out of breath, and I'm like, oh, thank God you're in. I finally explained the situation. So she puts a post out on Facebook. She lets, you know, people know. And then obviously she lets me use her phone to ring the only number that I know off by heart, and it's like the only number I've known off by heart for years, which was my nan and granddad's landline. It's just a number to remember. So I rang that, and luckily my nan had a spare phone. So and it's like a touchscreen. It's the one I'm on now. So luckily she had it sort of spare, and she never really used it. So she said, you know, would I like to use this phone for now? You know, just till I can get sorted with something a little bit better. So all sort of came sort of like good in the end. So I had to meet them. They had to come through to Hull. I had to pick up the phone, etc. But yeah, it was one of the most weirdest sort of like 24 hours that I've sort of like ever been in. And what you've got to take from this now is how much people nowadays rely on technology. Do you know what I mean? Because in that moment where my phone had first gone, there was like no way of contacting anybody, and like the panic on my face just shows like how sort of like how much we rely on mobile devices nowadays. If you go back to the 90s, like where there wasn't really mobile devices, and back to the days of ringing somebody on a landline or going to a phone box, do you know what I mean? Like it almost makes you think like how did people manage back then? Because nowadays like we're so used to just sort of having our phones in our pocket, and as soon as someone tries to get hold of us, it'll buzz and vibrate in our pocket. We know that person's trying to reach us, and then the moment that something happens and and people can't reach you, you've got these things in your mind like what if someone's trying to contact you, or what if someone's wondering where you are, or or some case in my sort of different, what if someone's trying to message me regarding a booking, and then say I lose that booking because I didn't get back to them, so it just shows like how much nowadays we rely on technology, and how much like when something goes down or when something breaks, like how it can just really affect you, from like even doing a lot of your day-to-day stuff. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. In some sense, I wish we didn't have all this technology stuff. Like, I mean, obviously, I use it every day, and I am a big user of it. But, it definitely does take control of our lives. And when you're in a situation like I was in last week, you see how it can take control of your life. But that's that's kind of like the disaster that I went through. So anyway, so that all got sorted and fizzled out. So back on to more like the music side of things. Layman Productions is taking off. So Layman Productions was set like a platform to showcase like up and coming music, up and coming talent. From like myself, Leeton, we've had people like Freestyle on there. I've done the tracks with Jiggerman, and it's just been growing and doing well. The YouTube channel's not been doing too bad, and we're just sort of growing in general. So me and Lee, we spoke of the idea of actually turning the Layman Productions into an actual label, and getting more people involved and showcasing their music as well. It's been on our minds for a while because we've been putting sort of like some of our own music up, and it's been doing well, and we've been pushing and promoting it. So we thought, well, how about turning it into a proper label, and about actually like showcasing some other people's music. So we started just sort of advertising, if people want to join up the label, and people got a track that they want us to listen to, and if we think it's good enough, we'll just help sort of push and promote it. We'll make them a little album cover, and we'll just push and share the track, and try and get more people to listen, to listen to your track, kind of thing. So obviously, we did that, and it just started blowing up even more, and we had people like wanting to actually be involved, and people, hey, I've done a track, will you have a listen to it? So we've got a couple of people that actually coming on to the label. So it's going to be nice. I'm not going to say like exactly what and who till it comes out, but the label is going to take off, and it's going to do quite well, as to what I believe, because it's doing well at the moment. But if you do want to join onto the label, or you've got a track, and bearing in mind this can be any form of genre. It can be a rap track, it can be a house track, a hardcore track, a bounce track. It doesn't have to specifically be any specific kind of genre. We just showcase all music. Even if you've done something and it's playing an instrument, maybe, and you've studio quality recorded that, just send it over. We're taking all kinds of music. If you're singing something even, we'll happily showcase, and we'll share that music for you, because that's obviously that's what we're all about. So that's quite good. So that's taken off. That's like a little side project outside of my DJing. side of things. So DJing side of things, bookings. Next up for me is actually well, I've got a couple of dates that haven't really been announced yet, but basically I've been invited to a private party and I've been invited to a birthday party. Now the private party, there's not a definite chance that I'll be DJing at it, but there is a chance that I could be DJing at it. So I've got to like go with music and be prepared anyway, just in case I do obviously end up having a spin. And then the following week, I'm actually at a birthday party, but again, that's not actually been announced yet, so I won't say out until it's been announced. But these parties are both in Leicester, by the way. They're both in Leicester, and I'm getting quite familiar with the Leicester area because I had a very unusual day yesterday that just did not sort of it wasn't what I expected. But I'm getting quite used to the Leicester area because I've gigged there a couple of times now, and I'm familiar with the club and stuff like that. So it's almost like, in some sense, returning home for me. So I got them two parties, and then obviously the big one, which is on the 27th of November, is the Bounce Till You Drop with Ian Van Dow and Scunthorpe at one of my most favourite venues that I've ever played in, the new Light nightclub in Scunthorpe. What an amazing place that is, but you've heard me say that so many times, so I won't go into detail about how good the venue is. But I'm playing there. I'm playing in room 2 with a guy called Luke. I forget his last name. I think it's Luke. It's either Luke or Jordan, but I'm saying it's Luke. And we're just bringing like house and club classics into the room 2 vibe. And that's going to be an absolutely belting night. That's going to be like off the scale. We've got Ian Van Dal, Castles in the Sky, Give Me a Reason, all them like club bangers that he had made, that was massive back in the day. And then there's people like General Bounce, Devise. There's so many great sort of like artists that are going to come on board. There's going to be so many great bangers that are going to be dropped, especially in that main room. And then of course you've got the residents, obviously like Top Vibe, Destiny, Ashton on the lineup, and and all them kind of people. So it's going to be an absolutely belting night. And then next up after that is for me is the Stomping Christmas party. Stomping Xmas Bash, which is on the 18th of December. So it's like it's a really good time to have a stomping for us, because it's like December is like everybody's birthday. So it's like it's my birthday, it's my friend Gemma's birthday, it's my friend Kenny's birthday, it's Shy's birthday, and I think there's even some more people that go to stomping that have a birthday in December. So we all kind of like meet up at the stomping, and we all sort of like share our sort of like one big sort of like birthday celebrations. Everybody's sort of like has a birthday around that time, or in the December month. So it is quite good. So I'm obviously playing in room 2 again, and I've had a little bit of a talk about what I'm doing in the room 2, because they wanted me to play bounce, but from what I can gather, they really enjoyed the set that I played last time, which was a hard house set. I've got the recording for it as well. And they really liked the style that I went with the hard house. They really liked the vibe of it, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So they want me, that I'm aware of, they want me to play a similar styled set. So for me, I was actually quite buzzed about this. I was like, yeah, I can do that, and I'm actually quite excited because one thing that kind of disappointed me about my set the first time was I've never mixed hard house before. Now hard house, a lot of the tracks, they're like 6-7 minutes long. So whereas like a lot of, say you're doing a hardcore set, a lot of tunes are like four to sort of like 5 minutes long, and sometimes you can do a lot of quick mixing in hardcore. Whereas like hard house, there's a lot of long breakdowns. The intros to the tracks are sometimes longer than say like an average hardcore track would be. So you actually lose a lot of time, and you don't get to play as many tracks. And I picked loads of tunes for the last stomping that I didn't even get to play, but because I ran out of time. So obviously getting to do it again just means that I get to play a couple of them tunes that I didn't get to play last time, and to me, it's just taking a trip down memory lane. And I'm coming across so many songs that I haven't played in ages, and I've never even mixed them. So it's just so buzzing for me to go back, and it's taking me back in the day when Andy Whitby used to do his hard house stuff. So again, I'm gonna this Christmas stomping will kind of be like a part two to what I did at the last stomping. It'll be like there'll be more of them tunes that was sort of like big. The Awesome label, so many bangers that I just cannot wait to drop. So I'm actually looking forward to playing in the room 2 again. I don't know what my set time is. It's not being confirmed yet. Obviously, I'll find out a little bit later on. It's still quite early yet. I mean, it's still over a month away yet before the night even takes place. So obviously, I don't know yet what time I'm going to be playing. And I'll let you know if I'm allowed to let you know. Sometimes they don't like you to know because they don't want people just to turn up for one artist and then like go home kind of thing. Not that I think anybody would just turn up for me and then go home, but you know what I mean. Like people could pick and choose, or say if they knew what time. Say one of the headliners was on upstairs, they'd maybe say, right, we're not going to come we're not going to come as early kind of thing, or we'll come a bit later, or whatever. It makes people like you want to get there early because you don't want to miss anything kind of thing. So but like I say, if I can update you on my set time, I'll update you on my set time. So you know I'll be able to let you know obviously if I can. But yeah, other than that, as far as the bookings go, I think that takes me through to the end of the year. I know I've got a couple of things in the pipeline for next year. I've got something April time in Birmingham. I've got a couple of things February that I can't say too much about at the moment. But I've got a few things in the pipeline. More things are obviously gonna come in the pipeline as we go through. I would imagine. Obviously, I'll update you when I get to know. I'm pretty sure I'll be back with DNA again and stuff like that. So just keep your eyes peeled. I don't know what they've got planned for next year, but I know there's something new coming in the pipeline next year. A new, well, not new, but like a returning Nights coming back from quite a few years ago. So basically, keep your eyes peeled because I might be getting my fingers involved in that. There's going to be some other things happening as well that I can't say too much about that are going to be absolutely fantastic as well. So all I can say is keep your eyes peeled. So anyway, so before we wrap up the stream, we'll finish off on another story. We started off on the first story with the phone breaking. So we'll start on yesterday's story. So yesterday was started off as a little bit of a bad day for me. I set an alarm because I had an appointment in the morning, and silly me, I didn't have my ringtone volume turned up. So I set this alarm, and the alarm like went off silently. So I actually slept in, and I actually missed the appointment. But this is not the annoying part. So the annoying part is I set the alarm for 9 o'clock, right? No word of a lie. I set it for 9 o'clock, and me being me, I wake up at 20 to 9. I wake up at 20 to 9. I open my eyes and I look at the clock, 20 to 9, and I think, you know what, I don't have to actually get up and get ready yet, so I'll just lay, and then when I hear the alarm go off at 9, I can make myself a drink, etc. As you do. So here's me sort of just back laying, thinking, the alarm will go off at 9 and then I'll just get up then. So there's me laying, I fall back to sleep. And obviously, because I hadn't turned the volume up, the alarm's not gone off. Um, it's only gone off silently, so I don't hear it. So I actually wake up about, I think it was about 10 to 10, like 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Um, so obviously, like, the appointment starts at 10. So obviously, like, by the time I've had a drink and got up and got ready and then sort of started walking down there, it's gonna be like going up for like 10:30, 10:45 probably. And then we have a break at the appointment around about 11 anyway, and then we'd leave about 12. So time just seemed to get on, and there was just no point going. I wasn't too fussed because it's like the only one I've ever missed. I think I arrived late for one once because I just got a time mixed up. But to cut the story short, I have never like actually missed an appointment and stuff like that. And it was just one of them things, to be honest. It was a one off. Wasn't like too much of an important appointment that I needed to attend. So it won't like be the end of the world that I've missed it, and I'll just go back next week and carry on, kind of thing. So obviously I'm chilling at home. My friend Lee texts, about our usual linking. I usually link him. We usually chill out for a bit, go to his workplace, and we usually like plan that we're going to get productive, or what we're going to do next music wise and stuff like that. Um, so um, so I link him, I get in the car, and he's like, we're going on a road trip today, but I'm not telling you where we're going. So I'm thinking, all right, then you're not telling us where you're going. So we start heading off, and then he says we're going to Newark, but he doesn't say why we're going to Newark. So I'm thinking, all right, we're going to Newark. So we go to Newark, we arrive at this house, and I then realise and gather that my friend Lee's buying something. So he buys something, and then literally he lets on what he's bought. It's something for his camera that you put on your shoulder for filming. So I'm like, all right, wicked nice. And then we had planned to go and see a female DJ from Nottingham who was quite big in the bassline scene back in the day, the old school niche and stuff. She wanted to show us a setup, and she does like spoken word poetry and stuff, and she's been like quite a good friend of Lee's for a while as well. So we said we'd call in because we was going to be going past there. Now I wasn't totally sure why we was going to be going past there, and really what the motive was to go all the way from Newark across to Nottingham. So obviously we start leaving Newark, and Lee starts saying, I'm hungry. We should go somewhere for food. Now I was on my skint day. I didn't get paid till the night time, so I'm thinking, well, I can't really, I haven't really got anything, money to eat. I thought we was just going to his work, and then he was sort of going to drop me off, and I was going to eat at home, kind of thing. So he's like, I'll sort you out, and then you just sort me back. So I'm thinking, all right, fair enough, free sort of £3 takeaway or something. So we start heading towards the Leicester area, and we're sort of like heading round Leicester, and I know you sort of have to bypass Leicester to go to Nottingham. So we're getting to Leicester, and he's like, maybe we should stop here for food, kind of thing. So I'm thinking, all right, we're driving around the Leicester area, and we're sort of driving around, and I'm still clueless as to what's really going on. I had no clue as to what was going on, and he's like pointing out all these takeaways and saying, maybe we should stop at one of these, and I'm thinking, why aren't you pulling over then? So I'm trying to scratch my head, and then I'm starting to see like familiar roads from when we've come to Leicester for gigging, and then I'm like, I'm sure we're somewhere near Chef and Spice and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, I think we might be, and he's still sort of looking and pointing out takeaways, and I'm thinking, and then he goes down a side street, and I'm thinking, oh, he's going to pull up at this side, on this side street, and we're going to, walk to a kebab shop or a chippy or something. And then we go straight down this little side road, and we come back out at a main road, and I see the Chef and Spice, and we're coming up the road to the Chef and Spice. Next thing I know, he pulls up, and there's no other than DJ Monster stood outside the Chef and Spice. And even still, just for a second, it didn't click on, and I'm thinking, what's he doing here? And then it suddenly clicked, and they've had this. They had it planned from this morning, that they was going to surprise me. They was gonna basically surprise me, Chef and Spice, and we was going to meet them, and we was going to eat at the Chef and Spice. Now, I think the reason was, I think Monster was already in the Leicester area, and Leighton had to come and get this like thing for his camera. So it made, it wasn't too far for us just to drive across it into Leicester, and then it just sort of escalated from there. So they decided to keep it like a complete surprise from me, and I had no clue, like that this was happening, like that they was actually planning this, and that we was planning to go to the Chef and Spice, or anything like that. I literally thought we was just getting the camera, going to see this other DJ, and then sort of coming back home. So it was just so crazy. And next thing we're sat at the Chef and Spice, talking to Monster. It was all like done and made a surprise. So we had the meal, and then we went on to see the female DJ from Niche in Nottingham, and then we finally arrived home, and I was absolutely shattered. It just felt like we'd been so long on the road, we'd been driving for so long. We'd gone from Newark across to Leicester, across to Nottingham, and then we more or less drove and bypassed Doncaster, joined the M18, and then when you come off the M18 and you get back onto the M62, it was actually closed. Like, you couldn't go over the Hoos Bridge and go on to the A63 and come back into Hull. So we had to turn off at Howden. We had to drive all the way to Market Wheaton, and then we had to go back across from Market Wheaton through Bishop Burton, and we had to drive all the way, the dual carriageway and back into Hull that way. So it was just one of them really sort of like, like where your eyes are aching because you've been looking at the road for so long, and you've been doing so many different things, and it was just crazy. But the day was just so unexpected. Like in the morning, I didn't even know we was going to Newark, let alone eating at Leicester. And I was kind of like, well, how long we're gonna be? Because I'm gonna be eating at home today, and it was just so unplanned. But it was so good to see Monster. Bless Monster's cotton socks. He actually bought mine and Lee's meal, which I was so buzzed about. I thought that when we first went in there, I thought Lee was just going to sort me out, and I'd sort Lee back. But because Monster had come into a little bit of Wonga, he sorted the meal out for us both, which was just amazing. But it was just so unexpected. It was just such an unplanned day, because obviously my original plan was to get up, go to my appointment, etc. And the day just turned out to be so. It was so crazy. So anyway, that is another story to tell. But don't you just love unexpected days, like where you get up and you don't really have anything planned, and then suddenly like you're going somewhere but you don't really know where you're going. It's exactly what it was like. It was just so weird. But big respect to the Monster, big respect to the Shika, old school niche DJ, and she has got some tunes on vinyl. I had a little dive into the collection last night. I had a little bit of a look, and she's got some nothing but bangers on vinyl. She's got some really good hardcore tunes. Some really good Twister Records, Evolution Plus. She's even got a little rare one as well that I don't even think she realised was rare, and she'd only got it for a couple of quid in a second-hand shop, and she could actually get quite a lot of money for it, which is crazy. But there you go. There you go. So, that's going to do it for this stream, people. Make sure to like, comment, share. Obviously, I'll come back live when I've got more things to update again, bookings, etc. So like, comment, share. We'll see you all next time, people. Okay, let's end it.